There we go. All right, audio working, camera working. Let's get to it. So, before we start chatting about the arm day, I was scanning through the comments as usual, and I saw one that I think is worth chatting about. You know, in between, you know, what the comment that says like, "Is my Riz baby Gronk level?" Like under that comment, and above the comment that says, "The Rizzler Big AJ charity boxing match question mark." I can say with certainty that is actually not in the works. Though I may not be opposed. I like the Costco guys. But no, it was, "Sam, I'm getting too fat. I can tell I'm putting on too much body fat when I'm bulking up, and I don't like it." And it's an unfortunate reality. You got to give and take, man. You know, bulking up, cutting down, they each individually have their own positives and negatives, and you kind of have to, at least for that period of time, be comfortable with handling those, right? So if you're on the verge of, I mean, summertime especially, that's when anybody who may be thinking a little bit, you know, considering dipping their toes into a calorie surplus, summertime's the least likely period that anybody would want to do that. I mean, just because you're going to be out and about, you know, everybody wants to be nice and lean during the summertime. I'm talking spring break, I'm talking everything else. But in the grander scheme of your lifting journey, the longer that you wait to start trying to bulk yourself up, I think the worse. You know, it's just something I've never really had a problem with, and I'm also spoiled because when I bulk up, I don't get too soft. Like my for me, on the scale of things, if this is neutral, this is either side of it. People who have a naturally big appetite and can just eat a lot of food, you know, putting down food is very easy for them. You know, I'm talking like a Badlands Chugs, at least in terms of drinking stuff. You know, their stomach doesn't tell them like, "Oh, dude, stop eating," so easily. For someone like that, they're going to be able to bulk up much easier. Chowing down, I mean, a calorie surplus, fuck, that's their natural state of being, you know? And then on the other side of things, if you don't really have a massive fucking appetite at baseline, then you're not going to have the easiest time trying to gain weight and put on size. So that's kind of, that's the kind of discrepancy which can describe, either like a conventional hard gainer or somebody who, what's the opposite of a hard gainer? What do you call it when you have a hard time dieting down? Being a strong man? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But at least for me, I'm a little bit, I think I'm close to the middle. So for me to bulk up and to cut down, I don't have like massive trouble with either case. But I think I have a little bit of an easier time dieting down than I do actually bulking up. Like, it does become, it's not just like I go to the kitchen and I grab whatever I'm hungry for, and then that puts me at a calorie intake where I'm going to start growing. Like, it's an actual kind of fucking methodical process of timing out these meals and eating them at certain times and making sure throughout the day I'm actually on track. But, I mean, me compared to just one and a half months ago, I was way fucking leaner back then. And I mean, I wasn't like diced, like show ready or anything, but like, you know, I'm talking ab veins, I'm talking all sorts of separation and striations and everything else. And now, I mean, that's just immediately gone because I'm trying to bulk up and gain size. So I'm definitely coming from a spoiled point of view because I'm not going to get, like, this is not soft, of course. Like, I don't never put on too much body fat, but it's the natural kind of thing is, if you want to gain muscle, apart from just main gaining, which definitely fucking works, I would kind of recommend to any beginner character, year 1, year 2, like, pretty much hit your protein goals every day, and then eat as much food as you're hungry for, and then lift hard and, you know, try to get stronger, do your sets as hard as possible. You're gonna grow, you're gonna gain muscle for sure. That's what I did pretty much the first 3 years that I tried bulking up, or that I really got into lifting. That took me from 160 to 200. You know, in no way am I bashing on main gaining just because I like bulking and cutting now. But I think you can kind of only main gain for so long because your body is kind of going to get used to whatever stimulus you're giving it. And the whole premise of main gaining is just eating as much food as you're hungry for, and then training hard as well, gradually, slowly depositing muscle fiber over time. But that stimulus on the training side could be badass. I mean, you can be training like a fucking demon. I mean, I didn't really squat that much in my first 3 years, but I could bench 315 for 2, I think. Maybe, no, I could definitely do 2. I wasn't repping it out though. It was more like 225s, or two plates on the 25. But either way, main gaining is totally legit. But I think you can only do it for so long before your training's on a reasonable point, your sleep's on point. You need to start stimulating that fucking calorie vector to actually push yourself into further growth. So if that's you, if you've been main gaining for a while and you're not really seeing the results that you want to, I think you're just going to have to suck it up and say, fuck, all right, well, I'm going to be a little bit softer for the next 4 months. But when I diet down later on, I'm going to be bigger and leaner. So that's where, I reference this a lot. If you have a little bit of a better understanding of delayed gratification and a solid, at least a tough enough mind to say, all right, I'm not going to look as crazy as I want to until later, but this work that I'm doing now is going to put me on that path, then fucking go for it. I think it was, it might have been 2 bulks ago. I'm not totally certain. It was either 2 bulks ago or 3 bulks ago. That was like the softest I ever was. Where like I had the most body fat I'd ever had. But that's just the nature of fucking bulking, man. Who cares, right? You're getting bigger, you're getting stronger. You're probably sleeping like a total fucking baby in a good way. Your lifts are sick. You're gonna be fully pumped up and carved up. It's sure you're gonna put on a little bit of body fat, but who cares, man? Whatever. And throw a hoodie on. Just train covered up if you're that worried. Not the worst problem in the world. But either way, you got to do something, because so if to actually change something in terms of your gains, you just have to lock in general. Like you just have to start actually going to the gym on the regular. Then that's what you need to do. But let's say somebody's been working out 6 days a week, every week, no skipping except for like if they're sick or whatever, for the last 2 years. They've been main gaining, they don't really bulk up, they don't cut down, they're decently strong, they're making progress, but they can tell their weight is starting to slow down. If that guy wants to get bigger, you gotta eat bigger. And that's pretty much the only change I would fucking recommend. Assuming that everything else is on point. If not, then look at some other part of your lifting situation, as it were, and then say maybe the reason I'm not making progress is because I go to the gym 2 days a week and I barely lift. Maybe I'm not making awesome progress because I take a month off the gym like every 2 months. Things like that, you gotta understand, man. They're not it's not conducive to gains. But no more chatting. Arms, fast forward about an hour and 20 minutes or so from now, they will be pumped up like a fucking like a pair of arms. Not to make it sound too silly, but we'll talk about it when we get in there. So let's get started. All right, so I was just thinking, the last few lifts, or at least I've gone through periods of time in my lifts where I would literally do basically I would always do full stack plus like 3 plates and just immediately try to go as heavy as possible. It's just kind of funny now that I want to start off with a light squeezing set with a rope. But even if it's lighter weight, still going to take it as hard as possible. Now all I have to do is get amped up and squeeze. With a different song, that is. I'm not even like... Oh.
When you get lean, my
Oh, yeah. Oh. Whew. All right. I think a few more. Same style, same everything. Oh my god. All right. Let's change things up a little bit, I think. All right, let's make it happen with a heavy one. Much less squeeze focused, more so just like, I don't know, nasty work focused. That's a good way to put it. Okay. Oh. One more, at least. No. Okay. Let's make a little rest pause. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, let's move on. Not sure what to yet. Yeah, adjust the grip a little. A little grip change. Oh my god. Okay. That was good. But I don't want to do this machine again. I don't love these handles. Good set though. But now I got some. Now I got to do something else. Let's find out. This setup is kind of scuffed because this cable doesn't adjust. But I think some overhead shit will be nice. Kind of a bent forward method. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks. Let's turn it into a drop set. Okay. Let's do one more heavy set with the easy bar. And I think that'll be about it for tries. Okay. Oh, let's give it 1 second. Yeah. I think this will be a good finisher. Just a little more on this kind of a breast pause. Okay. All right. That's enough of that. It's time for curls, goddammit. All right, here's the plan. 40s, but not what you'd expect. I'm not talking a straight fucking set. I'm talking 5 reps on one side, very fucking controlled, very hard squeeze, 5 on the other, and repeat until impossible, which should all kind of be the goal of all your working sets, I think. Yeah. Okay. One more. Exactly like that. Oh yeah. Okay. Holy shit. Oh, all right. That's enough of those. And those are extra fucking cool. Because when you do a regular dumbbell curl, where you start at your sides and then you twist it up top, you're using a lot of, fucking forearm to get that weight started. Whereas doing something totally fucking supinated like this, with your palm up the whole time, I don't know, it's gotta be what, probably 80% bicep at that point? Either way, bicep biased. So let's move on to something else. Very similar, but only slightly different. Still a curl. Let's get a heavy set in. Let's
You're actually in good shape. I'm only gonna cut down the call.
I had to reset the song, but as much as I do like a light season set, I mean those sets are just the 40 are fucking badass. I still see the appeal of actually loading up whatever your targeted muscle is with as much weight as it can reasonably handle. And I don't mean for one rep. You're not going to see me try to curl the 100-pound dumbbell for one. I'm talking about for a reasonable amount of reps. You know, I'm talking like probably 8 minimum, 12-ish is what I'm aiming for. So 65 is still good. I think let's get the 70s moving. Let's get some old York 70s.
That was bad at all. That's the most kids are.
Okay. Let's make a drop set. 55s. Okay. Oh, fuck. All right. Let's change gears a little bit. Move on to a certain special kind of bicep movement. And definitely hitting biceps in a little bit of a roundabout way, but in a way that I think I've been neglecting for quite a while. So I'm talking underhand, straight bar, bicep focused pull downs. So I'm going to be able to give myself a little assisted reps with my lats because I mean, that's just the nature of it. But when I'm strong, I'm only trying to send signals to send my fucking hand to my shoulder purely with my bicep. And then strapping in just fucking helps. Not use so much forearms. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh. A few more, just like that. Okay. One more. And then back to actual conventional curl. Ugh. Ugh. Mm. Oh. Ugh. 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 Mm. Mm. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. All right. I think I have a plan for the finisher. Let's go do one more set of like a conventional curl, dumbbell, easy bar, whatever. Then come back and do a little superset back and forth of push downs and curls just to totally fucking pump up my arms. Go home and eat something. Let's get a set of single arm bent over concentration curls with self assistance. So I'm talking hit a basically failure on my right arm and then help myself on another 5. And I'm telling you, those 5 that I help myself on feel so much different than just hitting regular failure and then putting the weight down. So after this, go back to the cables, finish off a complete arm pump, pose down and go home. So nothing too complicated.
Kill myself. I think it's
There we go.
that's why they call it soul check. Wait, tag me, that's my opinion. So you guess the
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Okay. All right. One more finisher and we're good to go. So here's the plan. Here is the plan to obliterate and inflate my arms. So heavy pushdowns, and each portion is going to be like the complete muscular failure because I am going to go back and forth a couple times. So it's going to be like 10, 15 pushdowns, rack it, lower the weight because pushing down the stack, very reasonable. Curling the stack, that's a little much for me, especially at the end of buys. So if it's it says 240 for the pushdown, 150 for the curl, and go back and forth maybe 3, 4 times if I'm feeling crazy. You know, it's pretty much just as hard as I can, and then I can say with no doubt, with a shadow of a doubt, or without a shadow of a doubt, I'm gonna be pumped. Let me pick a better song though. Ah, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay. One more. Holy fuck. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Arms erect. Actually, I mean, yeah, in a way, arms erect. But let's go post down up on this mofo. All right. ISO at a freaky 200. Might even drop that to 160. But arms rect, fucking to the point where there's no contact of finger to shoulder, which is typically, well, not even typically, I just know for a fact that is a very good sign. So let's just rip the pump cover off and fucking reveal. And then we can discuss the real details in the car. Once I've, fully collected my thoughts and caught my breath. Though I'm not so out of breath like when I come over here for the legs pose down. All right, one more. Oh, that's how it's done, god dang it. That is how it's freaking done. So I can still see a hint of striation. Like, not that crazy, but just a touch. So I've got quite a while left in this bulk. So don't get too attached to, well, I guess for me, I'm trying not to get too attached to some of these fucking veins. Because I know as I'm going to get saucier, or I don't want to say it saucier, as I'm going to get softer, then, I can understand the cost of getting a touch bigger is going to come at getting less leaner. But that's not a problem. That's just a fact. So if you can't take it, learn to. Because I think bulking is a real fucking cheat code, semi-late game into your lifting journey. But let's scram. We're all done. Rookie move. Rookie fucking move. Damn. It's been like 10 minutes of straight talking. Well, let's go back to the beginning. All the way back to the fucking beginning. So, arms fucking wrecked. I'm talking tris, bis. The only problem was with triceps, I kind of got out of the zone a little bit. I kind of got out of the zone because I can tell it was that set of machine dips that I did. I was working in with some guys, and I took like 5 minutes before I actually did that set, and that kind of got me out of the groove. So that's where I think you kind of have a certain amount of like energy and momentum that you're trying to build up in your workouts, where you can't really wait around for too long. So when it comes to the rest periods, these are not I don't have a timer going. It's pretty much, at least how I think about it, is I'm going to rest as long as necessary, but no longer, because I don't know if you know this, but your pump is constantly fading, right? Your pump is constantly trying to get away from you. So it's your responsibility as the lifter throughout the workout to do a nasty fucking set, go hard, do some serious work, relax, rest, and then as soon as you're recovered, as soon as you're ready to do that same set for a comparable amount of volume, like if I did a set of 50-pound dumbbell curls to about failure, and I waited 30 seconds to try to do it again, I wouldn't be able to get the same amount of reps. I'm not recovered enough yet. So as long as I'm recovered enough to do a comparable set, that's when I want to do it. Because if you take too long, you're going to start to lose some of that momentum, and in a much worse fucking way, you're going to lose your pump. So I can tell today biceps were really the star of the show. There was no dilly-dallying between those sets of biceps, at least not too much. A little bit of chatting here and there is not going to hurt you, but if you're the, I don't want to call anybody out for this specifically, but if you're the chatter, if you're the distractor of your gym, then I guess it's totally fine for you, but for anybody else, you're kind of setting a trap. We've all been there when somebody's, I don't want to be mean, but like somebody's kind of talking your head off a little bit, and in my mind I'm like, fuck, dude, I got to do another set of hamstring curls. It's already been 3 minutes. It's like, I love chatting, but I want to chat after the workout is over. So my kind of my pre-lift sort of, let's see, what would I call it? My pre-lift, what's the fucking word I'm thinking of here? My pre-lift ritual, as it were. I roll in, I got my pre in my system, I put all my shit down, set up the tripod, everything else, get warmed up, and then try my best not to let anything distract from the workout itself. Because what's going to happen is, if you fucking, if you're chatting for too long, if you're talking for 5 minutes between sets, for one thing, how are you going to have good work? Whoops. How are you going to have a good workout? But also, you're going to be lifting forever. If you've got, let's say you've got an arm day, you're going to do 8 sets of triceps, 8 sets of biceps, and you're talking for 5 minutes in between every set. Dude, that's an hour and, let's see, how many minutes is that? Let's do some math here. 50 minutes plus 30 minutes. That's an hour and 20 minutes, not including the time that you're actually even doing the working set. So just looking at it as a time situation, that's not going to make sense. But in terms of your actual workout quality, you got to understand, as you're doing these sets, as you're doing these working sets, you're constantly trying to add to your pump, add to your fatigue of whatever given muscle that is. So I want to rest until I'm pretty much backed off in terms of my heart rate. I'm not breathing heavy anymore, but still, have some fucking residual damage from the last set, and then just fucking repeat, add to it, add to it, add to it. So what's my cue? What exactly is the magic number volume wise? That has actually changed pretty fucking dramatically over the last 6-ish years that I've been lifting. So in the beginning, as a real beginner, I didn't even know exactly how much volume I was doing. I was kind of just working out. But eventually I came up with a routine where I was like, okay, I'm going to do 25 sets per body part, per muscle group. Per muscle group twice a week. So my arm days were fucking 50 sets. It was 25 sets of curls, 25 sets of pushdowns. I was doing way too much just fucking fluff volume. I think I was training pretty hard at the time, but I definitely wasn't taking my sets to like complete total failure like I should have. And eventually, I remember watching some videos which managed to convince me to turn me towards the right path, where the basic gist was like, your workout should probably consist of more like 10 to 12 working sets per body part. adding up to about 25 sets per week since I was doing everything twice a week. And that was kind of a big change. That took me a while before I actually wanted to do it, because I felt like I was going hard. Because, I'm doing 25 fucking sets, man. I'm doing a lot of work. Like that's how I'm supposed to do it, right? But if it's just fucking junk volume, I mean, what's the point? So to condense the volume into less sets, but intensify those sets, that started to make a lot more sense in my mind. So eventually I managed to stop doing 25 set per body part. So I'd have a 25 set chest day. Jeez. But eventually I brought that down to about 11. I would do 11 sets. That was my number. So every lift I wanted to do 11 sets per body part, and that was when I'd be like, I'm done. And eventually, after I think about 2 years or so of doing 11, or a year of doing 11, I managed to drop it even further to about 8. And then same situation. It was kind of hard to make that drop because, like, I feel like I'm taking it easy, right? I mean, 11, I'm going hard. That's how much I should do. Doing any less is not enough. You get into that kind of mindset, and it's hard to get out of it. But eventually, I managed to say, okay, fuck it, let's drop it to 11, or let's drop it to 8. So I managed to do that, and then that's kind of what I've been riding for a while. But now what I'm aiming for isn't even a number; it's more of just a state. So some lifts, like today, was about, I think, 8 sets of biceps and triceps, maybe 7, but I'm pretty sure 8. That's not specifically because I was aiming for 8. That's just because I wanted to, I wanted to get to a point where both muscles were fully fatigued in a good way and fully pumped, which I can kind of gauge now that I've been working out a long time, so it's a little bit easier for me. But some days I only do 4 sets. I've done, I think the last maybe 2 weeks ago or something, I had an arm day where I only did 5 sets of bicep curls and like 6 sets of push downs, and it's just going to kind of depend on the day. But I think that's about right. I want to do as much work as necessary, reach that point of fatigue and sensation of how pumped I am, and be able to say, like, okay, that was enough. Let's go home and fucking grow. And not overdo it. Not to say you're not going to make any gains doing a 15-set workout. But when it comes to the details and minute improvements to your training and your whole situation, then even a 1% improvement over time is going to be pretty fucking wild. 1% extended annually, I don't know what that adds up to, but I'm pretty sure it's I don't know, at least like 10x or something, maybe. I don't know the math, but yeah. So if today I felt like doing the 8 sets, and I guess a little bit of a caveat with this style is you have to actually go hard. If you are kind of a slacker in your lifts, then you might be inclined to say, oh, I did 3 sets, that was enough. No, that's not what I mean. That is not what I mean. But taking your lifts as hard as you can, making sure each set itself is fucking legit, to the point where if you had to, if somebody had to pull you away from the gym at any given moment, that the last set you did, you at least pushed it. So, whatever happens, it's like, okay, at least my last set was good, let's get out of here. So that's kind of my thought process there. But that's a big drop, man. I mean, I pretty much dropped the volume by like 4 times what I used to do. And part of that is just because I was kind of a hard-headed youngin'. Thought I knew everything. And I definitely do not know everything yet. I'm getting there. That's something which I think anybody in any realm is gonna benefit from, is having a solid understanding that you don't know absolutely everything about everything. And if you think you do, dude, even just thinking that, you're automatically closing off your mind to accepting any new ideas. That is the worst thing you can do, honestly. Right? Now, of course, don't just change your workout routine every day because somebody tells you what's best. If somebody was like that, they'd do a completely different workout every, they'd do a calisthenics day today and a cardio day tomorrow and a powerlifting day the next day. Just if you're at the whim of like TikTok reels telling you what's best. But somewhere in between, you have to have at least enough. I don't even want to. Discipline might not even be the right word, but you have to have enough. What is the word I'm thinking of here? You got to lock it in enough to one style of training to see results for yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you make some, I was growing when I was doing 25 sets per lift, but is that really the right way to fucking do it? Who knows? And then apparently I found out, yeah, probably not. That was probably not the best way to do it. But not that it didn't work. And I think that's kind of a mental trap. Is you can do a lot of different shit, and it will still work in terms of giving you fucking gains. But that does not mean that whatever thing that you're doing is the best method, and everything else that everybody else doing is just wrong. You have to kind of have an understanding. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, and you can kind of try to optimize that over time to the best way that's going to work for you specifically. And I really mean that, because everybody's going to respond differently. And not only is everyone going to have a different genetic response. I mean, your muscle fiber is going to be different than mine and his and hers and everything else. But also, your training has to match your life. It has to match your day by day fucking routine. So you have to train in such a way that you can do it on a regular basis. If out of the blue, somebody started to say dude, if you want to train and get big like me, you need to train for 5 hours every day, minimum, or you can expect jack shit. That's not going to work. And that's probably not going to work in two ways. That wouldn't work with anybody's schedule, and that definitely wouldn't. Well, never say never, but let's just say I wouldn't try that training method for sure. But that's where. I was about to say that's where the enlightened lifter, he understands. He doesn't know everything, and he's open to new ideas. He's open to fucking interpretation and seeing other people's perspectives, and trying to specifically pick out the good parts. Because I'm not sure if you know this, social media in terms of working out is probably, so the basics, even the basics aren't really widely accepted. Calories in, calories out is not a widely accepted fact. Training intensity is not a widely accepted fact. So take every Instagram reel about fitness with a grain of salt, and really take it with every grain of salt, because it's gross to see it now, but every fucking TikTok is just like an advertisement to the TikTok shop. Oh, so then, oh my god, you're really gonna listen to the guy posting about you need to train this grip trainer, and he's got it tagged in the bio right there. It's just fucking nuts. But I think that's enough. That's enough fucking arms. I'm gonna get some grub in me and get a good night's rest to dream about tomorrow's leg day and whatever that ends up being consisted of. So I'll see you then.